What's going on, guys? MoneyGuy here, and today I'm back with another Storytime video. So, something I've realized is my past 3 stories all had to do with me, like, in some way, shape, or form, failing with girls. So, today I decided let's go back a little in time and start off with a good old harmless bike story. So, when I was a kid, and basically all throughout elementary school, my favorite thing in the world to do was ride my bike. Like every day after school, I would just be so excited to go home, ride my bike, and then after riding my bike, go back home, play some Pokemon on my DS, and sleep and do it all over the next day. But the thing is, this one day, me and my neighbor, we were actually like best friends, and so we would always like ride our bikes around the neighborhood and just like try finding the biggest hills we could find so we could ride our bikes down and see how like fast we could go. And so one day we found this like really steep hill in this like neighborhood that was like a little away from ours, but it wasn't that far away. And so what we did was, since I was older by like a year, I decided that I would be the first one to ride down this steep hill. And so how we like did our bike riding was that whenever we rode down a hill, like we would always take turns. And the reason we did this was because one of us would be at the top of the hill while the other one was at the bottom, making sure that like no cars were coming by, so that, you know, since we're going so fast, it's kind of hard to stop. And so we always had someone on the lookout to see if there are any cars coming by, so that when the coast was clear, we could like tell the other person that they're good to go. So this one time I was all the way at the top of the hill while he was all the way at the bottom. And so I told him, like I yelled to him like, "Hey, is the coast clear?" And I couldn't like really hear him because he was like super far away. And so like in the moment I didn't know this, but like now he told me that he said no, but when I heard him I thought he said go. And so I literally went down the hill and I was like zooming, like I was going so fast down this hill. And then out of nowhere, I see this like car coming by, like the left from the left side of my eye. I see this car coming by, and so I had to use my like instant reaction. And so what I did was I turned like my bike to the right, and I stepped on the brakes. And so looking back on it, stepping on the brakes wasn't the best idea. Like turning right probably would have done it, but like I like instinctually just like hit my brakes. And so in this moment I was literally like soaring in the sky, and it was like crazy. Like it only happened for like probably like 3 seconds max, but it felt like an eternity. I was like falling down to earth. And luckily, because like this road, there are like houses nearby, so there's like grass in their front yard. So luckily I had like landed on my like arm onto the grass. But my bike unfortunately did not have the same luck, because it ended up like hurling through, and it like hit its side and then sort of like hit a lamppost as well. So my bike, like when I got up to go check on my bike, like the whole like steering like wheel or whatever was like all janked up, and so was like the front of my bike. And so I wasn't even like concerned with myself, because like honestly I didn't get that hurt. Like it caught a couple of bruises, maybe I was like bleeding like just a little bit, but that was about it. And my friend, he like started running up the hill to meet me, and then the car that like I had to swerve out of my way to not hit, like came down and like lowered their window, and she was talking to me. She was like, "Hey, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." And she was like, "Are you sure? That looked like a pretty nasty fall. Do you need to like call your parents or take you to your house or something?" And I was just there, like, that's kind of like the last thing I wanted. So I was just like, nah, I'm fine. I not that hurt. And she was like, okay, well, you guys should really be more careful. Like, you could have gotten seriously injured. And like, she was definitely right about that. Because you see, me and my friend, we actually, no, now I'm remembering. My friend did wear like pads and a helmet, but like my parents didn't really care, so I never wore like pads or a helmet. And so like, had I landed on my head, that would have been like very, very bad. And so yeah, luckily for me, I was pretty lucky that I managed to land on my arm. And so basically, she was just like, okay, well, you guys be safe. And she left. And I had to like take my bike, and I couldn't ride. So the front of my bike was kind of like all destroyed. So I had to like walk my bike home. My friend sort of like had to help me carry it home as well. And when we got back home, and like I told my parents the story, they weren't even like that mad at me, or like they weren't even like concerned like if I was that injured or anything. They were like more mad that like I had destroyed my bike, because they paid good money for that bike. And you know what? I can understand it. My body can heal. I can go to the doctors, get patched up or whatever. I'll live. But that bike, that bike cost some serious money. But fortunately, like the next day, my neighbor's dad was actually able to like fix the bike. And so like within a day, I was already back out there riding my bike once again. So the lesson for this story would just to be it's just be safe. Wear a helmet, wear some pads if you're gonna ride a bike. uh I was dumb. I could have gotten seriously more injured than I actually did. I got really lucky. And like, even like, had I like landed on the road, that could have been bad, because I could have like landed on my arm and just like totally skidded on the road. But I was very lucky that I only hit the grass. So yeah, make sure that you wear some pads, a helmet. Just be safe, and make sure that you hear no from your friend instead of go. So I hope you guys enjoyed the story. It's kind of a short one, but it is what it is. And yeah, I hope to see you here for more. Peace.